Anime Alex, your Monstie build guru and your stream Kage, back again with another Monstie build video. Today we are going to take a look at Silverwind Nargacuga. Now, there is a lot of different ways to build Silverwind, and I could say Silverwind is probably the most versatile like Monstie in the metagame. There's so many builds and different build variations you can actually have with them, and this build variation that I did is all centered around like evading with evasion and being kind of a status giver and outspeeding, and a little bit tanky and just being a little bit of a tank. Now we start off with Self-Heal Gene XL. You do get this from Elder Dragon, so this is a pretty difficult skill to actually grind up. Feel free to use Self-Heal Larges if you don't have any XLs, but XLs are going to be the best because Nargacuga's or Silverwind Nargacuga's recovery isn't all too high, but we use this to give us a little bit of survivability, a little bit of nutrition, so we can kind of heal off. I'm going to show what this combos with just in a second. You have your Might Gene XL. This seriously boosts non-elemental attack damage, and since we are a non-elemental attack Monstie, that is why we have it. Say no more for that one. We have the Dash Gene Large, which is Vacuum Blast. This is one of Silverwind's innate abilities, or innate genes. It deals medium non-elemental damage to all enemies and high chance to inflict bleed for 2 turns. So with this build, we almost always, I mean always, inflict bleed. And bleed is good. Bleed is good in the metagame, at least for PvP, and it also is really good for PvE because it applies a 5% debuff to the monster or your opponent to the point where they take like 5% more damage. So it's really good if you can combo this in 2v2s. I would say this skill is actually pretty busted for 2v2s, because if you combo it up with your teammate and they do a widespread move, then you can basically get 2 easy free kills and almost a whole board or almost a whole team wipe on the other side. So that is why we have it. Coming down, we have Salt in the Wound, which substantially increases damage done to enemies with abnormal statuses. The reason why we have this is because so we can do a little bit more damage to monsters or players or opponents. Since we are trying to put statuses, this works really well, but I understand that if you're going for a more defensive Nargacuga build, you might not really care all too much about Salt in the Wound, but this will help, especially with one of our skills or genes that we have. We're going to be able to proc Salt the Wound with basically everything on this build. Next we have Inflict Ailment Gene XL, which is significantly increases abnormal status inflict rates. It is up 2, so we're going to basically be able to get our statuses off like way faster. We're going to be able to proc Salt in the Wound, and we'll just go from there. We get that damage increase, we get more damage from the Might Gene XL. We can basically debuff people and do even more damage thanks to Vacuum Blast, but Vacuum Blast is and this is for singles, by the way, but Vacuum Blast is probably just going to be used for like duos mostly. Moving over is the Protection Gene XL. Divine Blessing XL is sometimes reduces the amount of damage taken, and up to means it activates very often. This is a really good and one of, I would say, the top 5 best genes for PvP, and a really useful gene for PvE. It just makes the monster inherently more tanky just by reducing damage by 50%, I believe, with Divine Blessing XL. Meaning Nargacuga will be tankier, will live off hits. We have Self-Heal Gene. We can basically status the monsters. We do a decent amount of damage thanks to Might Gene XL and Salt in the Wound. So This is a really good team player we have. Next, moving down on the list is our White Shadow. This is kind of what brings the build all together, and if you don't want to use the White Shadow, then just replace it with all elemental defense up. I actually used to have all elemental defense up before I replaced it back with evasion gene, and the reason why we have White Shadow is because it evades attacks aimed at the user, and you can evade 2 attacks, and it is active for 2 turns. So you basically can evade 4 attacks, meaning if you are in a bind, you're in a pickle, Silverwind's about to die. Since Silverwind is one of the fastest monsters or monsties in the metagame, you could just basically press White Shadow. It's only 21 kin cost. You can let yourself heal, recover yourself while petting, just to get up your kinship that you spent on the move. So you could basically just fire off a free vacuum blast, and your Nargacuga will be, or your Silverwind will be safe. They'll get some health back, and then they'll basically be almost back up to full, just ready to get back in the fight. Next on the list is the Arachno Venom Gene Large. You get this from Shrouded Nursilla, and you get the move Arachnophobia, which everyone knows what Arachnophobia is because it deals medium non-elemental damage to one enemy and a low chance to inflict poison and paralysis for 3 turns. You can inflict either or. You can sometimes inflict poison, you can sometimes inflict paralysis, or you can sometimes inflict both at the same time. And thanks to Inflict Ailment Gene XL, we can at least increase that to a medium chance. I believe that's it's either a medium chance or it turns into a high chance that it inflicts. I'm not sure how much the boost is, but you'll at least every other turn or every so often will inflict poison paralysis, which is really good for Salt in the Wound. Now there's another attack that you can basically replace for this. It is the Sleep Gas, which Sleep Gas, you get it from Gravios, which is a power Monstie, and I'll just kind of take us to where, to a Gravios, wherever I can find one. That is Black Gravios. There's Gravios. You can replace it with the Sleep Gene Large, which is Sleep Gas, which deals medium non-elemental damage to all enemies and medium chance to inflict sleep for the same turn only. Now, since you will normally go first with Silverwind Nargacuga, because he's, like I said, one of the fastest monsties in the metagame, you'll basically outspeed, try to put people to sleep thanks to your inflict rate up. They'll go to sleep, and then you can basically turn around and just try to crit whoever, or just basically team up with your friend and 2v2s and do this. It is 26 kinship cost, so pretty expensive. I am thinking of replacing Arachnophobia just for that, but I do like the cheap cost for Arachnophobia. So you can either do it's either or what you want. And then for the last gene we have is Savage Roar Gene XL. You can get this from Brute Tigrex or Bloodbath Diablos, and it basically deals medium non-elemental damage to all enemies and high chance to knock down. 25 kin cost. With Inflict Ailment Gene, it goes up, so you're just trying to knock down people and just stun people so they'll waste their turns. Ideally, you can also swap out Savage Roar for Icicle. I have seen Icicle Nargacugas, and what Icicle Nargacugas do, or they outspeed just to try to inflict Skill Seal, and that's it. They won't spec into any ice or anything. They're just gonna outspeed, inflict Skill Seal, call it a day, and that's about it. Those are all the variations you can do with Nargacuga. The only genes that you have to have are definitely Might Gene XL and Dash Gene Large and Protection XL. Those 3 basically, also Inflict Ailment Gene XL. Those 4 genes make up the entirety of this strategy. Some people will take off the self-heal for Evasion Gene XL and have all elemental defense up. Other people will take off the Salt in the Wound plus Gene XL and just have all elemental defense up. Or some people will take off the White Shadow and have all elemental defense up. And for the moves, there will be a combination of either Dash Gene, Arachno Venom Gene, Savage Roar, or Dash Gene, Arachno Venom Gene, Icicle, or Dash Gene, Sleep Gas, Savage Roar / Icicle. So whichever combination of moves you want to do with Nargacuga, he's very versatile, or Silverwind's very versatile. Basically will get the job done. One of the best Monsties in the metagame, will not do you any wrong. Our non-elemental bingos are at 8 out of and that gives us 150% increased damage on our non-elemental attacks, and all we have is non-elemental attacks. And to move onwards to towards the Monstepedia to see his stats, Silverwind is right here. He's a speed type Monstie, obviously. He has 3 ticks, or he has 7 ticks in max HP, so fairly bulky. He has 7 ticks of speed, so super fast, not super bulky, but fairly bulky. He has 1 tick in recovery, and he has 10 ticks in crit rate, so he has some of the highest crit chance in the game just on base. He has 8 ticks of non-elemental attack, 7 ticks of non-elemental defense. The rest of his defenses are average, so he's fairly bulky, so that's why you can get away with using protection genes and whatnot. And to compare that, he's actually, I believe, on the same amount of bulkiness as Grimclaw T-Rex and Bloodbath Diablos. It's just their weaknesses get changed, so yes. So he's on the same tier as those 3 in defense. So you won't go wrong. Also, his ult is a guaranteed crit. It is Nightmare Blade. So it's a single target attack that is a guaranteed crit. And with all that being said, that is the build video for Silverwind Nargacuga. If you do like it or enjoy it, then please tell me. If you basically want to tell me which combination you run yourself, please feel free to do so in the comments. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and check out the other Monstie build videos and PvP videos on my channel, and check me out on twitch.tv/animealx so you can come and see us live on Twitch. For all that being said, catch you in the next one. Peace out, all my fellow weebs and weebettes.